for daily Ask Reddit. r/ask Reddit. Doctors of Reddit, what patient made you go how the duck are you even alive? If you like the video, drop a like and subscribe so you never miss a video. I was on home call for her in a small town. Got a call from the nurse one night and she was like, "Ems brought someone in here and they think she might be dead." I was like, "Well, is she?" She was like, "I don't know." This was a seasoned RN, by the way, so I was like, "Well, guess we are treating this as a code blue kind of situation." So without any further information, I jump into my car and rush over to the hospital. Once I got there, I realized why the triage nurse was so confused. In the trauma bay lay what appeared to be skeletonized remains under a blanket. The person felt warm to touch, so I opened their eye, and a yellow, wrinkled, shrunken eyeball stared at me and then suddenly moved. Potassium of 1, for those familiar with lab values. The backstory was extreme self-neglect/depression combined with carriage neglect. Weighed in at 67 pounds at a height of about 5 feet 5 inches. We actually resuscitated her, very aggressively and unbelievably. After about 8 liters of fluid, she started speaking a word or two at a time and recognized her daughter. I have a hospice patient that has been on our service for 4 years. I'm either really great at hospice or really bad at it. My great grandma went to hospice because she was no longer ambulatory, needed help using the restroom, losing weight, etc. A month in, her nurse comes in to find her in the restroom on her own steam. This was paired with a marked weight gain. Turns out the nursing home food was she just wasn't eating enough, but the hospice facility let her have salty, buttery pierogi and kielbasa again, so she started eating. A couple pictures of me before and after brain surgeries were on the front page around this time last year. The mortality rate for acute sideral hematomas is 50-90%. Of those who live, approximately 20-30% regain any brain functioning. Due to the sideral hematoma, the bleeding in my skull was so severe that I also had cranial herniation. My brain tilted 5 mm, causing my brainstem to compress into my spinal cord. That I not only lived, but woke up and recovered well enough to go back to work/get married/travel the world/return to baseline physically is a straight up medical miracle. I'm still in touch with the neurosurgeon who was on call at the hospital that day, and he says the same thing. Patient here. When I was 2 I was being treated for asthma due to wheezing, labored breathing, etc. One night it got exceptionally bad, so my mom took me to the ER. They put me face down to do a cord scan. This was 1990, and when they were done, they turned me back over, and I was blue, had stopped breathing. Court revealed a volleyball-size mass in my chest. Emergency surgery revealed what was supposed to be my twin. It kept growing inside my rib cage and finally had nowhere to go in my toddler body, so it cut off my airway. It had fingernails, hair, appendages, everything but major organs. I made a full recovery. I'm a healthy 31-year-old now. Zero asthma. Only remnant of that night is a scar that goes from the center of my chest to the center of my back. Update. Definitely didn't expect this to blow up. Damn. Thanks for my first gold. This was a teratoma, so it was never a viable human. Edited the post to show that I'm the healthy 31-year-old lol. Anybody that quoted White Scroot is my hero. My father's doctor couldn't believe her. He didn't need to amputate his feet and he was still alive. Dad had brittle diabetes. His pancreas would kick in and out due to a congenital deformity. At 82, he had significant heart issues, including angina, enlarged heart and clogged arteries. One day, his feet went black. Not just bluish or grey, black as charcoal. Rushed to emergency. We were told they would amputate, but to say our goodbyes. Dad refused surgery, said he'd rather be dead at his age. Hours later, his feet were pink. We took him home that morning. Doctor actually apologized for upsetting us, but said he'd never seen anything like it. During residency, my ICU patient had to have his chest reopened less than an hour after 6-hour open heart CABG surgery. He needed 12 units of blood. His heart massage then shocked 4 times. Cardiothoracic surgeon and the ICU operating because no time to go back down to OR. was an illicit drug abuser and alcoholic. Nurses called him the cockroach. I checked in on him for 4 weeks. He was unresponsive every day. On week 20 we had to consult Ent to take maggots out of his nose. I was sure he was a goner after that. Week 3 passed, no change. Week 4, day 24 I believe, at 6 AM, he opens his eyes. I was shocked. He has a permanent tracheostomy now, but somehow is alive. Lady in her mid-30s was in the clinic for a 1-week follow-up post-foot amputation. Diabetes. She was admitted straight from the clinic because her blood glucose was 600 mg/dl. Normal is 80 to 120 and the wound was severely infected. We used super concentrated doses of insulin to bring it back to the 200s. She was on strict diet restrictions and we couldn't figure out how it wouldn't drop any lower than 250. Turns out her kids, teens, had been sneaking giant 64-ounce sodas and candy bars into the hospital, literally 1 week after we chopped her foot off because of uncontrolled diabetes. Not exactly a case of how the duck did you survive that trauma/disease, but how the duck do you even function on your own.